Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Wait, what? You're a drummer?
We got no food, we got no jobs. Our pets
You're a dragging good drummer?
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Mommy made me mash my
Check.
M&Ms.
Check.
Is Michael here?
Testes, 1, 2.
Is there a Michael here?
Michael.
No Michael here?
Nope.
No? All
Mike.
right, that concludes the Mike check.
Michael check.
The Mike Republic of Czechoslovakia. That was stupid.
The microphone republic of Czech. The Mike Slovakia.
Hey, we have to check the mics. We have to make sure they're hot.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hot.
Always.
We're hot. We're here.
hot and awesome.
We got a hot cast coming out the oven here.
Yeah.
At Dumb and Drummer. Welcome to the Meet the Dumb and Drummer.
Meet the team.
Meet Dumb and Meet Drummer.
Yeah.
Well, technically, so the original genesis of the thought, I was dumb and you were drummer, but I am a drummer as well.
Yeah. Well, we switch roles. 'Cause we both
Yes.
play drums, but we're dumb at different times.
Yes, exactly. So I am definitely that. I'm not too intelligent some of the time. So
I always say you have to be a little dumb to decide to play drums.
yeah, and even more dumb to not wear earplugs, which is what
Yes.
I've spent the last 20 or however long I've played drums. Dude, it's crazy. I played since I was 11, so
Yeah.
I'm 37 now, 26. Jeez.
Even if you forget sometimes, do it as often as you can.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. That's today's Dumb and Drummer PSA.
There you go. There
Protect
you go.
your hearing.
So I want to start out here because as for our fans, we have fans. We already
Already.
have some fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. But just to introduce them to us and what we're doing here and who we are. So just a little backstory for you and so we initially met at a club here in Austin. It's the Cool Kids Club. I kind of don't want to say the name.
It's on South Congress.
It's on South
so
Congress.
you can figure it out if you're hip to the scene.
If you're hip. But we were hanging around. You would sit in there sometimes and play. I would stand in, I guess, and sing.
That's how I first met you. You were ripping on some song. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and then we just struck up a conversation, and then we were like, you and I. It was when I realized that you and I are on the same level, on a societal level.
Yep.
That I've started to be like, okay, who is this guy, and what is your name? Who is this guy?
Yeah, I'm Tony. Tony Fat Hands.
Tony Fat
Hands.
I love saying your last name. Corsaro. Is that proper Italian vowel to end the name?
Corsaro.
Corsaro.
Yeah.
Have you seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Gorlami. He's like Brad Pitt. He's like Gorlami.
Gorlami. It's such a good
What
name.
was that again? Gorlami. Dude, no, but Tony Fat Hands Corsaro here, and you got the nickname Fat Hands because you went to where give me a little background. So where did you come from, and how'd you get your nickname and all that stuff?
I got my nickname from playing so many hand drums. I played a lot of hand drums in college, like congas and bongo and everything.
Sure.
So much that my hands would crack and split and bleed, and the calluses and the muscles would expand. So my hands almost doubled in size. They were getting meaty.
Yeah.
I was like, my friends started calling me Fat Hands. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Tony Fat Hands has got a nice ring to it.
Dude, and yeah, because that's people don't realize hand drumming is it's no joke, man.
Yeah.
It's some serious stuff, man. And if you play a hand drum for a solid hour set, I bet your hands are the end of it. You're just like, woo.
Most salsa gigs are 3 or 4 hours long, so you're doing that for 4 hours all night. Yeah,
you're taping it up. And
I would have to tape up my fingers. Specifically, my ring fingers would just split open vertically.
Oh,
yeah, and if I didn't tape it up, after an hour they were split open. I had to keep just a little bit of tape around it.
Tony injured hands.
Yeah.
No, and you went to North Texas.
Yeah, I transferred into North Texas. I did community college in my hometown of Syracuse, New York.
Yeah.
That's where I was introduced to hand drums.
Okay. I
And-
didn't realize that you went to CC for a little bit.
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
I did
Same
community
here.
college.
Same here. CC crew.
Save money. It's
Bro,
the same education.
Best financial decision I ever made.
Yeah.
No doubt. No question. No
Yep.
question. But yeah, but UNT is like a very premier music school.
Yeah.
And that was what really, with you, I'm not going to say if you had told me you graduated from like, North Texas or from like Southwest Texas or somewhere, I'd be like, whatever. It's not Southwest Texas.
A&M or
A&M.
Tech or something.
Even UT. I mean, they have probably a good music school, but it's not UNT. You know what I mean?
UNT has a history behind it.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a specialized school in a lot of ways in music specifically.
Yeah. A lot of really, really incredible arrangers and studio musicians and session musicians. Like a lot of Steely Dan's bands, like the musicians that Steely Dan would get to record. Went to North
Really?
Texas. Yeah.
Back, Jack, and do it again.
Yeah.
Dude, they're a great band. I love Steely Dan, dude.
Anybody on tour, like if they're touring like the Eagles or Chicago, like a lot of those, anything with the horn section, there's guaranteed a couple of them went to UNT.
Yeah, dude, Snarky Puppy.
Snarky Puppy was formed there.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's how you know they're good. 'Cause
That's-
you're like, all these guys are like top-notch musicians.
When I got there, I transferred in, and it was like a year or two after Snarky Puppy had like graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So they formed, they started playing gigs when they graduated, then they hit it real hard. And then the class that I came in with was a year after that. So I replaced, it was like Mike League and Nate Worth and all those guys in the Latin jazz at North Texas. They left, and then I got there and started playing in Latin jazz at Texas, and that's what I did.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
UNT.
yeah. And to rewind it back, you started playing drums when you were
Like, yeah, pots and pans. If you want to consider pots and pans,
you were young.
I was 3, like a couple years old. My grandma
Yeah.
gave me spoons and pots and pans, and
Yeah.
8 years old, I got a drum set lesson, and like by 13, I was playing at church, and
Yeah.
that's the short story.
Dude, I played in church. I
Yeah.
played in church as well.
You told me about that. Yeah, it was-
Youth band. I played in a lot of different stuff in church, but so yeah. And then what year did you graduate from North Texas?
I graduated there in 2013.
2013.
2013, and then got my master's at Texas Women's University in the same town. Yeah,
My ex's alma mater.
yeah, same. Yeah, my ex's alma mater.
Oh damn! These Texas women's exes here,
Yeah.
man. These ladies.
I love Texas women.
They're nice.
Yeah.
But by the way, we're based in Austin, Texas. Here, we didn't even mention that, but we are in Austin, Texas. Just so it's clear to all any listeners.
The live music capital of the world and the live comedy capital of the world.
Yeah.
Soon to be, if not already.
It has certainly. I mean, the only reason that it couldn't like overtake like a New York City is just sheer size. New York City is just so big.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But if it's scaled out on the level of what it is now to the size of what New York City is, it would be bigger than New York City.
But the cool thing with Texas is you can make a weekend trip and hit 4 major cities.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in New York, it's so condensed. You can work that much in different parts
Yeah.
of the city. Texas is a lot more spread out. So even if you live in a smaller city, you can get to huge cities with way bigger markets and still work
Yeah.
just in the state of Texas.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And so you were in Dallas, and then you graduated in 2013, and then Texas Women's. When did you get your master's? What, 2015?
Yep, 2015.
2015. Okay, so and then I'm assuming that's when you moved to Austin.
Yeah, as soon as I finished my master's, like the same week I graduated, I was like looking for places and trying to sign a lease in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it about Austin that drew you here?
Probably Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, 'cause
He's
like,
a Dallas guy too.
Yeah, well, he lived. Yeah, he
I think
Oak Cliff.
He grew up in. Oh, dude, my grandparents were from Oak Cliff.
Really?
Yeah. That's
They-
how
they could have seen Stevie
They were from
running
Oak
around?
Cliff when it was like nice. Like that's how old.
Wow.
Like Oak Cliff used to be like an actual nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
Back way back. Yeah. Dude. I mean, it's actually kind of been gentrified again, but whatever. So it was Stevie Ray, but it was also just the live music scene, I'm assuming, and just knowing.
Well, ever
This
since
is a place to be.
Since I was a kid, the first time I heard about Austin was I listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan with my dad, and like Austin City Limits live in Austin, like he's from Austin.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, there's good music coming out of Austin.
Yeah.
And then the older I got, the more I just realized, like you see ACL live on TV or like bands. Like I know one of our favorite bands is 311, and 311 has like live at ACL.
Stay tuned for our 311 cover band coming soon.
It's coming.
It's coming. Austin, Texas, get ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got here, and then So like once you got here, what was your experience like as you got into the music scene, like as a professional musician, because you are a professional drummer here in Austin, right? So number one, it's crazy to me because I know it's crazy how many professional drummers I know. You can make your living in Austin here, right? You can be here and do it. But like, how was the journey for you? Because from to where you started to where you are now, I'm assuming there's been a lot of stuff that's happened where you've, things have changed in the scene and you've grown and you've learned and so what, like, give me a little insight on that.
You're always learning, and I think at least how I grew up in church and stuff, I was always playing. I was at least in one rehearsal, a lot of times 2 rehearsals a week, playing a Friday night and a Wednesday night service, or Sunday morning and Wednesday. So ever since I was a teenager, I've always been playing like 2 gigs and 2 rehearsals a week. And that doesn't even include like high school drumline and marching band and everything.
Yeah, dude.
So I've always felt like I've like been around the people that have hooked me up with something to do next.
Yeah.
And that's really like in any kind of entertainment or network industry, you have to network and you have to be around people.
Yeah.
And college helps that a little bit. It's not necessary, but a lot of what helped me move to Austin was the people I met at North Texas.
Okay.
And
yeah,
even in my hometown, my professor in community college was an alumni of North Texas. So he based that percussion program there off of how UNT's syllabus and percussion was. So I was prepared for it a little bit. He wrote me a letter of recommendation. I already had like a pretty hard work ethic and never really gave up on too much. I worked really hard in college. We could talk about that some other time, but I took 26 credit hours one semester.
Wow.
Yeah. I would wake up, have classes all day, rehearsals all night, finish, and then go bust tables. Like,
dude,
yeah,
that's the grind, as they say, dude. Yeah, that's crazy, man. And I forgot the question I was going to ask you, but you were in North Texas, and so I'm assuming when you got here, like you had some contacts that you knew and kind of helped you kind of get your, get integrated into the scene a little bit to start getting work and getting paid, and then you kind of just built it up from there, I'm guessing. Yeah.
You kind of find some gigs that pay more than others, and those ones help you do what you want. But I also had day jobs too. I had to work day jobs until I started making enough just drumming that I could sustain myself. But that happens slowly, Sure. And you have to want it. You have to know what your goals are. Like when I was first starting, my first goal was just to pay rent with playing drums, Yeah. And once I was able to pay my rent with drums, and my day job or my side gig was more just for food or gas, or I could go
like
out and
walking
hang
around money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's when I knew I could really make it happen. And then you just start getting more gigs from there. You just have to not be afraid to stop doing what the safe thing is and go full into what you want.
Yeah, from the comedy aspect, I would say that you can't be afraid to ask for stuff, like ask for spots for sure. Because sometimes it's uncomfortable, but like, it's a good, but yeah.
Or less asking about it and more saying, I would love to be able to do it sometime.
Yeah. Well, that's
part of what you
like. Hey, you get the show. I'd love to do it. Here's my avails or whatever. Yeah.
That's the other thing you learn as the older you get in the industry and just working, is you get better at communicating with people.
Sure.
And you learn
especially when you got such a silky bass voice that you have, dude.
I love communicating with people. I'm a communicator.
Hey, I like to communicate.
Yes. Let's communicate sometime. Would care to communicate?
Yeah. Dude, and so we got a few minutes left here to chat, but for the section here. But just what are you doing now? So what bands are you with, and like what projects are you doing that you got excited?
2 projects that I'm super stoked about. Okay. One I've been playing with for about a year now, Shadow Band, ATX. That's where we're at on Instagram. It's my buddies Robert Parker Jr. and Jennifer Foster. They're amazing people. We're a power trio. We play a lot of blues.
I'm sure we'll tag all of them in the comment or in the description.
Yep.
Check them out there.
And the second band I'm stoked about is actually one of the very first friends I made at North Texas. He's a cello classical player, but he plays fiddle and guitar and sings. That band's called Big Dallas.
Big Dallas.
Big Dallas. And we're like kind of a country fried band.
Big Dallas. That definitely sounds country fried.
Yeah, we country fry
You know, I like
everything.
the country fried.
Yeah. So yeah, Big Dallas. We're playing at the end of. Well, I think we got a gig in a couple of weeks at Valhalla, a famous Austin venue.
Yeah.
We got a lot more gigs coming up down the pipe. So.
Yeah. And then does your schedule, does it consist of a lot of like private instruction? Do you do a lot of like, what else do you do as far as, because I think for drummers that might be listening, that might be curious, you know, they're maybe they're not there yet. They're not making a living off of it yet, but they want to.
Yeah.
You know, like how else, what other forms of ways do you make, you know, kind of your living from it besides just gigging? Because it's not all gigging. Obviously.
Yeah. It's I teach a lot, or I used to teach more than I do now. I don't teach so much now because I like having students that practice and take it seriously, and sometimes it's hard to find those.
I feel like it's like lucrative, so it can be like one of those like, oh man, I could just do some lessons and, you know, pick up some quick cash. But yeah,
I'd rather put my energy in something else.
Yeah, my own projects.
Exactly. But I do like teaching lessons for people who are serious. Like I wanted to be a college professor before I knew you could make money playing drums. I was like, oh, I'll just be a college professor. So like I like teaching at that level conceptually. But I don't like sitting there and making someone practice paradiddles.
Yeah, yeah. No,
but you know, I've done that a lot. You know, you have to do things you don't like.
And then you have like some residencies too, right? Do you play with like a couple bands at church bands and stuff too in town?
Yeah, I'm on rotation at a few churches.
Yeah.
I'm on the sub list. Sub for friends of mine all the time. I play at Eddie V's every once in a while. Whenever my buddy Robin can't make it, he hits me up. So a lot of sub work. I do audio engineering too. I have a sound system, and I know how to run live sound and live recordings. So make a little bit of dough doing that every once in a while.
I'm sure you picked up a lot of that like as you went along in music school, and I mean it's part and parcel to being a musician. You have to know how to do. You have to have at least a basic idea of how sound works. You're pretty skilled.
Yeah, since I decided that I wanted this to be my career, like I like learning things, so I'm trying to learn as much about how all of it works as I can.
Yeah,
and that can only help you out in your career. You know, the knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you can leverage.
Boom, boom, boom,
knowledge.
We need that star. Well, thank you, Tony Fathead Squisata. Yeah, man. Thank you for that. Yeah. So
that's the most I've ever talked about myself.
Hey, man,
on mic at least.
I've talked about myself plenty.
Yeah.
In fact, I've talked too much about myself. I need to stop talking about myself so much. No, I'm kidding.
Well, we're about to talk about you for a little bit here.
Are we still just live and rolling, Taylor, to go? Okay. Yeah. Shout out to our showrunner, Taylor Albritton.
The production master.
We love the guy. He's here. He's doing a great job.
He's keeping us in the lane.
And we're really excited with what he's helping. Just the way he's doing this whole production is fantastic. So thank you to Taylor.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now you, Cody.
I guess me now.
You're a Texas boy.
I am.
You've lived all over.
I've lived all over Texas for sure, and then I've lived also outside of Texas. I lived in Brooklyn, in New York.
Nice. Did you ever spend time in California, or?
I have only visited California. I've never lived in. I've never like spent an extended period of time there.
Yeah. So where are you from? What part of Texas? Where are you born?
I arrived July 28th, 1985.
You landed.
5:31 a.m.
Hey,
a month premature. Last time I'd ever be early. That one's for Taylor. Not the last time I'd be premature though. No, I'm kidding. All right, I'm already doing bits. I told myself I wouldn't. No, I was born in San Antonio. I grew up in San Antonio. I spent most of my formative years there, and then into my 20s, and then I went to New York like in my late 20s. And then came back and lived in Dallas. And
how long did you spend in New York?
I've spent like 2.5 years up there.
It's pretty good.
It's I mean, it's
enough to understand what's going on and like learn some things.
Oh yeah. But it did take. I mean, it took like a good 6 months when I moved there to adjust to the tempo, because that tempo there, it's so people don't even understand. If you visited, you get a little sample of the tempo, but you don't really understand it until you live there, and it's like, you know. So I was talking to somebody in Dallas the other day when I was doing a show up there at Hyenas, and I was like. I was telling him about Austin being great. He's like, yeah, it's just the tempo's a little too fast for me. And I'm like, bro, you think Austin's a fast tempo? Like, man,
it's fast for Southern tempo.
It is fast for Southern tempo. But yeah, so I did stand up there for a few years and had a lot of success, but then also I unfortunately did a lot of drugs. So that'll derail you.
It can. Drugs are bad. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're fun though.
Yeah.
They are fun.
But you're one of the few people that I admire that played drums and then decided to do stand-up. Because every drummer I know loves comedy and loves stand-up, and that's kind of how we started this. The Dumb and Drummer vibe was because the comedy scene and the music scene were blending, and our experiences growing up. Like I've always been too scared to try stand-up. I respect it too much to disrespect it with my. But you actually did it and have a lot of success.
I mean, I did, man. Yeah, I knew. Like, I remember the first time that I got that it hooked me in a sense, or whatever you want to say. It wasn't even technically stand up, but it was in high school. I was co-hosting the spring show. So the dance team at my high school, cheerleaders, pep squad, that whole. The Stardusters is what they called them at my school.
Stardusters.
The Stardusters, every year they'd put on a big show, a spring show, and it was like a bunch of acts from the the different groups. It was like hour and a half long show, and they would have one every year in the spring, and like there would be different hosts every year, and they were always funny, like joking hosts, and I would go as an underclassman to the show and see it, and I was like, oh man, I want to do that.
That's
right?
So cool.
I want to do that. Like same. And so I was always, as far back as I can remember, I've been like somebody, I love making people laugh. I love being performative. Like I remember getting on the bus in like, when I was in like 6th grade church camp, and I was like, I was like obsessed with Tommy Boy at that point. I'm sorry. I was obsessed with Billy Madison. Billy Madison. Okay. Sorry, not Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy too, but Billy Madison. But I would get on the bus and I'd be like, no yelling on the bus. And like all the kids would just laugh. And I loved it. So I always loved that. But like I got to high school senior year, one of my very dearest friends, Maria, she was Maria Rivera. She's now Maria Kockelmeyer. Graduated first in her class, University of Texas Business School. This girl is going to be the first female president. She's amazing. But she asked me to host it. And I was like, so me and my buddy, another senior, Jason Birdwell, and I hosted it. We wrote some sketches, which were fun, and they did well. But then we also wrote like some in-betweens, like as MCs in between the different acts. And so the specific one that I always remember was there was an act that the dance team did this like slow motion routine. The whole thing was just all slow, right?
Cool.
And so, and then the curtains come in, right? And then Jason and I walk back out to the podium, right? And then I'm like, and then I had told Jason to be like, Cody, you don't have to talk slow anymore. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then it got this huge, and it was like the auditorium at my high school was like maybe 400 people seats or whatever, and it was full, and it was just, heroin. Yeah, it's heroin. It was literal laugh heroin, and it was over for me after that. So it took me another. That was when I was 17 maybe. So it took me another 7 years before I worked up the nerve to finally get on stage at 24, which I felt like was late. I wish I had started earlier because I looked at like Chappelle and a lot of like the greats. Like Bill Hicks is my idol. The reason I do it is Bill Hicks. And so, and he started like when he was like, he's like 15, 16 years old. So at 24, I felt that. But also the thing with stand up is you don't. Some people are just there's the rare get. There's the Chappelles and the Bill Hickses, but I'm not that. Yeah. those are rarities. Most people, you get the perspective of life as you go on, and you become a better comedian as you get older, which is an interesting thing because I think in music it's almost the opposite, right? In music, it feels like a lot of artists' greatest stuff comes out when they're youthful and they've got whatever that thing is. Not in every genre, true, but in rock for sure. Yeah, and like so. Yeah, and it's interesting because in comedy, it's like the older a comedian gets, the more rich their material becomes. Yeah, like, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting journey. I've spent time in a bunch of places, done a bunch of different scenes. I've worn a lot of hats: producer, comedian, musician, vocalist, podcaster, all of it. And it's all just kind of brought me here with the experience I have as an MC of the show here. Yeah, and then I love that the way that. Like I said, we complement each other, I think, in good ways. Like, because things that you bring to the table that I don't, and then things I bring that you don't. So it's yeah, man.
Yeah, you do a lot of stuff that I would never on my own volition decide to do. So I appreciate that.
I mean, I understand how to be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know?
That's kind of why I think I picked drums, though, because you're behind everything. You're like driving the bus
hide.
from the back.
It's like improv. You can just hide.
Yeah, yep.
I'm a little elitist about improv, by the way.
I like it. That's what really got me started into podcasting, actually, was improv. Comedy.
Improvisation.
Some of the improv podcasts out there, like with the really, really heavy hitters. But
Yeah, well, stand-up is fun because there is that element to it. I mean, it's working within a framework. It is kind of, in a sense, musical from the standpoint of, like, your bit might be like the baseline of what you're doing, but then you can change the mode, or you can mess with things,
reharmonize.
but you always you have a baseline to come back to with whatever you're doing.
Yep.
At the coda or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, in that way, comedy can kind of have that. Comedy's very musical. I was just talking about this last night, actually. It's very musical. There's rhythm and timing and dynamics,
form,
and technique and all that, and like, and the way the way you work the audience. You know, every comic's different, but you know, there is very much musical elements to it. Yeah, no doubt.
It's the voice. The human voice is an instrument.
You're literally using your voice to create all these things. And I will say that I think comedy and music, like music, just there's a vibration level of music that comedy maybe doesn't quite get to on its own. That music just can cue something in your mind. Are you the type of person that can get goosebumps from hearing a great song?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you know that not all people can? That doesn't happen for all people.
Really?
Yes. Some people's brains, they just don't work that way. So they don't. That's why some people that music doesn't. I don't understand those people. They're like aliens to me, to be honest with you. People that don't like music. But there are some people that they've never. I feel bad for them, to be honest. If you've never had that experience of like literal goosebumps from hearing an amazing, and it hits that right tone, and and you're just like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like that not all people ever get to have that experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen a few of my favorite drummers live in person, and every single one made me feel like my glands were just like on overtime, like testosterone and adrenaline. I could feel it going. Like the more they started playing, like the harder they got, the harder I got, bro. It was crazy.
Oh, I was rock hard, man.
Dude,
let me tell you.
It was like flexing. I couldn't stop grooving, bro.
Hey, bro.
We'll watch some of those videos in later episodes.
And when you were grooving, we all know you were using Vic Firth sticks.
Yes, Vic Firth, the perfect pair. We got it right. I remembered it.
Oh my gosh. Vic Firth. I love Vic. I met that old guy. He's dead for sure now.
Yeah. So, do you think you'll ever start playing other than our 311 cover band, which you're gonna play some percussion in the in the drum solo when we do that? But you ever think about starting a group playing drums again?
Well, we actually had tried to start, and this is why I hate music or bands, because or what stand-up is a individual pursuit.
Yeah.
Right. I don't rely on anybody. I don't count on anybody.
You're
It's
totally
all on me.
responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My success or failure rides completely on me. Unfortunately, in music, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
Your success or failure rides on not just you, but those in your group. Sometimes
5 or 10 other people.
Exactly. And that can, one person that doesn't, do what they need to do can derail a whole thing. You know, if your bassist doesn't show up for a gig, you're kind of fucked.
You
know what I mean?
the bass player.
Yeah.
If you want to make a career in music, bass and drums, those are the two instruments you pick
everybody
to get
always
good
needs
at.
a bassist, and everybody always needs a drummer.
You can move anywhere in the country and get
guitarists,
gigs.
suck it. No, what was it? Sorry, what were we just saying?
If you ever want to start playing in a band again.
Oh, well, so Sugarbird, shout out to my little side project, Sugarbird. And we were like rehearsing. And so I started playing. I got back to playing again after I got to Austin. So I've gone through periods, like, to be honest with you, I've played for 26 years. There's always been a pair of sticks somewhere in my house. That's always. But have I picked those sticks up all the time? No. But like, over the course of the time I've played, I've had periods where I'll go a few years and I just don't really play much. But then like the last couple of years, I started playing again. And so my thing with drumming is that I love to play. I enjoy it. I like playing. But to me, the thing that I don't I don't need to monetize it. To me, monetizing it would be awesome, but it's not something like I'm focused on doing. So for me, I can stick to more of just doing the things I want to do with it, as opposed to doing things like, because sometimes when you're a pro, I mean, I'm sure you can attest, you just have to take sometimes stuff that you don't necessarily really feel like doing, but you just need the money and you need to do it. And it's just, and like, so with me, that in the place I'm in right now with drumming, none of that. I can just play when I want to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll get you back to the weekend warrior status.
I'm good enough. I'm just good enough to know I suck. That's what I say. I'm good. I'm just good enough to know that I'm not, that I suck, but I don't suck. But I know that like what would be required of me to get to the level of respectability that I would say, okay, I'm a solid drummer.
Yep.
I'm like partially there, but I'm like, I would have to put in more time to be there. So I'm honest with myself. I don't lie to myself about my talent.
That's how I feel about comedy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we're the perfect duo for this podcast.
Yeah, because we're self-aware.
Yes. Yep.
We understand our limitations and we complement each other's. Where you lack in comedy areas, I can help. And where I lack in drumming areas, you can help. So that's the beauty of Dumb and Drummer.
And the name is just everybody we've told the name to so far.
Yeah. I remember we were standing outside of the Cool Kids Club.
Yep.
And we were just throwing names out. And then you said Dumb and Drummer. And I was like, it just clicked and it worked. And then what the idea was comedy and drumming. So, and that's kind of like, just to kind of like really bring this all in together. I think that's kind of what we're trying to do here with this all, is that we want to bring comedians, but we're not limiting ourselves to either of those two.
Right,
either.
yeah.
We're musicians and anyone in the creative fields really, to me, I think is open, possibilities for people. So
we're always going to talk about something dumb and something drum though. So even if we have like an organ player or a guitar player or another singer, we got
and they're always like, everybody knows drummers. Like we will, even if we have a guitarist in here or I
just want to hear what people have to say candidly about the drummers.
Yeah. But we've got like the cool thing about us being based here in Austin too is that we've got a slate of guests that we've already been working on lining up for the podcast and I think we're gonna have like some real ballers that coming in here, man. Some real heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because we're gonna get to have some cool conversations with some really cool people.
Styx drummer lives in Austin.
Styx drummer?
Yeah, the drummer from Styx.
Oh, no joke.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, there's a lot of heavy musicians that live here that people don't even know.
Hopefully gonna get Bowie's drummer in here. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. Hopefully we will. Yeah.
Robert Plant lived in Austin for a while.
And I heard he complained about somebody playing music too loud, one of his neighbors.
I believe it.
Dude, that is the most un-rock star thing ever. Oh my
Unless
gosh.
they sucked.
Dude, well, there, fair. But hey, man, so I think that it just kind of to sum it up, that's what we're about, man. And we're looking forward to 2023 and doing some awesome things. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll hope to see y'all again soon. And again, I'm Cody Odell.
Tony Fat Hands. Find us on Instagram.
And we're going to shoot you over to this. What do we got here? Let's see. We
were talking about comedy and drums. So I found this earlier with good old Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, nice. Okay. My man.
Just to let you know that people you'd never think could play drums are actually killing.
Dude, his technique is actually decent. Not great, but decent.
Yeah. I mean, after he's done tap dancing and singing and busting balls for however long.
Yeah, it's also fluidity is part of it. I feel like he's got decent fluidity too.
Yeah, and then later on in this video, he's like playing with the band, like trading 4s or 8s, and he can swing. Look at his face, bro.
Dude, he's in it. Now he switched back to matched.
It's a little splash. He knows how to play the splash. All right. Here we go.
That's where I used to have my splash before I pawned it because I was broke.
Yep.
I like it right there in the middle.
Oh, those look like Rogers drums. I can't.
That's a good looking kit.
Yeah,
What is that?
Might be Rogers. I don't know. But dude, that marine
Shiny.
Yeah, that marine sparkle or that pearl.
Yeah.
I love that.
My pearl's a Strata Black. I like it. It's that almost Buddy Rich color.
Yeah. If those are Rogers drums, and Rogers drums are made in Austin.
He's a little
at some point.
stiff here. Looking a little stiff. See, this is where we break this down, because a good drummer, you could tell a good drummer, they're going to be more loose than he is. He's a little tight.
Well, he switched to match.
But again, like what we can know is clearly a non-drummer. Dude, what is up? People weren't kidding about him doing the thing. He's like, I'll tell you what. Have you seen Jim Carrey's Sammy Davis? Well, he does a ton of great impression, but Sammy Davis is on point.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll tell you
here
what,
we go.
cats. We're gonna have a splendid ball of a time. I'll tell you.
Listen here,
We got
Kyle.
Mr. Frank Sinatra. That's great, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, love it.
Now he's swinging with brushes, man. Like, get hip to Sammy Davis Jr.
Dude,
He could do everything.
If you're not hip to Sammy Davis, bro, get your life together, is what I say.
Yeah. All right.
Sweet.
So that's some Sammy Davis.
Are we wrapped up? Are we wrapping up?
We're gonna.
We're gonna do another one.
Yeah, we got another one. I think we got like
Cool.
maybe
We got
one
a
more.
couple reactions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the one you played me earlier.
Yeah, this one is pretty cool.
Hey, do me a favor whenever you play these, full screen it, because it'll be
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
and prominent up here too.
Sweet. So this, if you like Rick and Morty, this is one of my favorite Rick and Morty scenes with Ants in My Eyes Johnson. But this guy David Dockery did some drum covers where he transcribed it and played it. So check this out.
So this is Ants in My Eyes Johnson with
With drums.
Rick and Morty.
Stuff, yo. I'm Ants in My Eyes Johnson here at Ants in My Eyes Johnson's Electronics. Ants in My Eyes, and there's so many TVs.
There's literal ants in the eyes. For those listening and not watching here, we're describing this. This is Rick and Morty's episode. It's just ants on his eyes, dude.
Dude, listen to how he's playing the drums with him though.
Microwave, only $100. That's fair. I'm Ants in My Eyes Johnson. I can't see a thing, and also I can't feel anything either. Did I mention that?
I can't feel anything either.
Off by the wayside. I can't feel. It's a very rare disease.
He's on fire. He's literally on fire. I can't feel anything.
What's going on? Am I standing, sitting? I don't
Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Rick and Morty, bro. That is so good. I had this idea before I ever saw any of these types of videos of thinking how it would be interesting to do it with comedy. And then Taylor was like, no, it's already been done. And he's like, he shows me and I'm like, damn it. Like, I thought this was a good idea. Like drumming, because like I talked about comedy's rhythm and like drumming to the rhythm of the jokes or the beats of the bits.
Yep.
The beats of the bits.
Check this out. This is a perfect
King of the
example.
Hill. King of the Hill.
Listen to the rhythm. Like, if you pay real close attention to the rhythm of the words and the drums, you can make it exactly and musical. Check it. Ready?
I'll tell you what you do. You just take
So this is the King of the Hill episode of Boonhauer with dang old drum. I love when they're on the street corner. This is like King of the Hill. For those of you who haven't seen it, check it out. So what's his face? Mike Judge. Mike Judge. This is great. Boomhauer at the door. Who's that guy? He's just backing up. He's just backing up.
You really got to listen to it though, because the rhythm and the words are the exact. He transcribed. He made the words of the dialogue the rhythm. Ready?
Nobody answered you. Called. How you supposed to come out there to do anything about that dog if you're just gonna get a dang old computer ain't gonna come over here and just shut that dang old dog up?
Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, man,
Yes, I love it.
Them sticks and bag and whack whack, man. If he'd go woo, talking about that.
No shirt.
Big mistake, y'all. It's right there in that cooler. Oh wait, man, it ain't gonna work out, man. These little gals come around here to get that flat out no, man.
Thanks,
It's so perfect.
Hank, man, I don't know what you're thinking, man, but y'all got no, man. That ain't no dang old Woody Allen with that little CD. That won't happen.
Boomhauer, you're not going to talk your way out of this one.
Yeah, man. That man, you just go on there and point.
He's in a Speedo. Oh my gosh, that's so great.
That naked chicks on there, man. You go click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
Bro, that is so good. That is so good.
Dude, those rhythms, like doing drums to rhythms.
You can do that with anything, but that's with Boomhauer especially. It's funny how you get to hear that.
It's his rhythm. That's Boomhauer's rhythm, and you can transcribe it.
Yeah. You want to do one more? Let's do one more. We'll do the Buddy Rich and the Muppets.
Yeah. Here's how
God,
old
this is the best
school.
one. This is my jam. This is James Atkins on drums versus Buddy Rich.
Yeah. All right.
The
A little bit
animal,
intro.
James Atkins.
Here, let's get to this part.
I'm gonna keep saying it until it picks up.
Okay, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the drum battle of the century. Yes, in one corner, our own ever-popular animal. And in the other corner, the Muppet Show's own fearless guest star, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Buddy Rich.
Oh yeah. Do the thing if it ain't God, that's me.
Here we are, the man. Traditional.
Dude, he's so clean.
Buddy Rich is on this clean white, what is that, whatever kit that is, like pearl kit. And then Animal, my man Animal.
Yeah.
They're drum battling. This is the Muppets drum battle from like somewhere in the 60s or 70s?
It's
This
gotta
has
be,
the 60s,
yeah.
maybe 70s. Dude, I love Animal.
Dude, the craziest part about Animal
It's
is how
just
they
back and forth.
Yeah, they make his arms
Yeah.
move exactly
And
with
he's
the
got
drums.
the
are
chain.
playing.
Dude, I love it. Whoever's actually playing drums to Animal is impressive because they got to match up exactly with what he's doing on
Yep.
that fake kit.
Yeah, it's like a
Dude.
head down, hair going everywhere
Does
like
that not resemble Adkins when he's going crazy, though? He's just like, his head's just bobbing up and down, dude.
You can't see his face or his eyes.
Yeah.
It's just hair everywhere.
Dude,
I forgot who was playing drums for Animal. It was like another really hit, like Louis Bellson or somebody.
is that who it was?
I don't know for sure.
The unsung hero is that guy.
Yeah.
'Cause the Animal's great, man, but nobody ever knows. Nobody ever thinks about, oh, that's actually a real drummer playing. Buddy Rich,
And
man.
now he's playing match.
Dude, Buddy Rich was all on those singles, man. He loved the singles.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude, that's great.
that's some
man.
legit drumming.
Yeah. Buddy Rich is a legend, man.
Yep.
I'm sure his name will be mentioned quite a bit on this podcast.
And we'll probably do a deep dive into drummers like him.
When we get into those episodes, because we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do some different episodes. We'll do guests, but we'll also do some like drum deep dive episodes. We may even throw in some comedy ones
Comedy
too. We
deep
get to do some
dives.
comedy ones as well, because there's
I want to
plenty.
do Rodney
I
Dangerfield.
love talking mechanics on comedy too, and craft and all that. It's fun. Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield would tour with the jazz trio, so that would be a perfect.
Dude,
yeah, that would be really fun.
no respect at all.
Well, we're gonna get some respect here at Dumb and Drummer for sure.
We are gonna get some respect. I'll tell you what. And hey,
You bet-
my
hey.
wife and I, we said we're gonna only smoke after sex. I'm down to one a day. She's up to 2 packs a week. or no, I'm down to one a week. She's up to 2 packs a day. Dude, I love Rodney.
He's so good.
we've got a lot of cool stuff planned, man. It's gonna be an exciting year in 2023.
I'm stoked. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have who knows? I hope that we have some guests that we're blown away, but it's oh my gosh, how did we do this? So I have we're letting go of self-limiting beliefs is what our
Yes.
themed it. Or at least I've
Anything
themed-
is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible. So thank you again for tuning in, Dumb and Drummer, meeting the crew here. Shout out to our boy again one more time, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor.
Our showrunner. And guys, stay tuned for some awesome stuff. We'll be back. Have a good one.
Thank you.